We are the doctors who read stuff and recovering chapters 36 and 37 of Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, The Final Empire. Vin enters Kredik Shaw alone, armed with the 11th Metal. When she arrives at the room she tried to enter with Kelsier, she finds the Lord Ruler, and he's an old man. Now, she's then trapped by the Inquisitors, and when she burns the 11th Metal, something happens, but she's confused by what she sees. Elsewhere in Luthadel, Elend opts to remain there as his father, who's figured out what happened at the pits, prepares to flee. Back in Kredik Shaw, Vin is imprisoned and attempts to reason what the 11th Metal does, but she is soon taken to the Lord Ruler's throne room. This time, the Lord Ruler is young. The Inquisitors use Vin's relationship to the High Prelan to wrestle control of the ministry from the Obligators. Vin's father is then murdered by the Inquisitors. We dive into the details right after this. Welcome to the Doctors Who Read Stuff. I'm Chris.
I'm Chip.
And I'm Brian.
And this appears to be chapters 36 and 37 of Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson.
Almost to the end.
Are we here already?
Yeah.
Wow,
So there's.
And I had a hard time stopping.
I know. We had
Oh.
chapter 38 and the epilogue left, and it was just like.
Oh.
Within your grasp.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about this last time. Every time we have to stop, it's harder.
Yeah, there's no good place
That's
to
what
stop
she said.
here.
No.
So. All
But
right.
we did it for you, the viewers.
We
or,
did.
Or listeners.
We did.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. So here we are. Like in the previous chapter, Vin was like, "Okay, I'm going to Kredik Shaw." Well, she didn't say that, but she said she was going for
Basically,
the Lord Ruler.
yeah.
But the fact that she just like waltzes in there is
Well, I love that first
crazy.
scene where she runs into the guards and
Yeah.
she's basically like, you know, guys, there's a whole rebellion going on out there. I know you really don't like this job, so why don't you just go out there and join the rebellion? And yeah, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
let's take a minute and just reflect on how far she's come since the beginning of this book, right?
But it's like, you know, if that had been Kelsier, he would have been blasting his way in there
Right.
and killing everybody.
Gosh,
and
yes.
you know, but
Yes.
she's just like, hey guys, don't you want to do something better than this?
Well, and so one of them like tears off his patch and leaves, and he actually comes into play later.
He does Goredel or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't write down his name, but yeah.
Mr. G.
Yeah, we'll call him that.
Yeah, perfect. Good job, Brian.
All right.
But as she's making her way, so she's going to the room that her and Kelsier tried to break
kind of the
into.
room within a room.
That Kelsier and Mare tried to break into, right? She's like, there's something there, and I need to figure out what it is.
Yes.
And I thought that was interesting, too, when she got there and how she took on the Inquisitors that were guarding the room. It was just
That was
unorthodox, and it was just, it's just, she's learned so much with allomancy and the powdered pewter, wasn't it? That basically
Oh man, that was great.
she's like, you know, and felt like a wrestling move where you get the, you know, somebody throws salt in somebody's eyes and they're just, you know, you blinded.
For those of you that watch wrestling, I'm reminded of the great Muda.
Yeah. The one that would spit like
with the green mist, out of Japan. Anyway, I digress.
That's a callback.
Wow.
It is.
A
that
while
was
ago.
Mid-90s? Late
Yeah,
90s?
that was
I don't
Just
know.
a few years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, that like the mist and like just the arrowhead trick too.
Oh yeah.
Because that comes back into play where she like
where she had the stone arrowheads, but she had them connected to like metal pieces, and the Inquisitor pushed the metal away, but the arrowheads kept
kept coming because they can't do shit about stone, right?
Yep.
Right.
So yeah, her getting past the Inquisitors and getting into that room was really cool. I followed that a lot easier than I followed Kelsier's battle in the previous chapters.
Yeah.
But when she gets in there, it's almost like a study or a lounge.
It's like a
or like
trophy
a
room too, or like a
mementos.
den. You know, that they got like skins on the wall and mounts.
They had a
and,
fire going.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it was really homey.
And then there was an old man in a chair that turned towards her.
Well, and we find out it's the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's old now.
And he was young 2 chapters
Boy,
ago.
that sounds like someone else that we've read about already, doesn't it?
Does it?
Doesn't that seem a little bit like Sazed?
Well, I was gonna say it sounds like the Terracemen when they're able to, you know, kind of change their bodies.
That is a great point. I hadn't put that together, but he was so fascinated
Yeah.
with what they were able to do. I wonder if he's managed to.
He was able to replicate
harness
some
some
Well,
of that.
that's what I was kind of wondering because Sanderson's laid kind of some groundwork on, the ferochemists and the allomancers, and if somebody could do both, they would be pretty powerful. So I don't know if that's kind of what he's doing. If he's in this room, basically,
I was
because
racking
when
my brain.
Sazed does the, I think it's the next chapter. He comes in and he's all weak.
Yeah.
But he's got metal that he's ingested,
But
that
then
he's
he,
put
like,
his strength
holds it.
into.
Yeah.
Is that what the Lord Ruler's doing here? Is saving his strength into some sort of metal store to use later, or
Sure, or just to like turn back the clock.
right?
Yeah.
Because he's been. I mean, is he like 800 or I don't remember
He's
how many
like
hundreds of years.
1,000 years almost.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Long enough for everybody to remember what a good life used to be.
Yeah.
But no one can remember what green grass looks like, or a
Exactly.
green
No.
plant.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another scene. I think it was when Vin was walking to Kredik Shaw. She talked about the yellow sky. That,
Yeah.
And it's always been gray or fiery or ashy or, so the yellow sky. I don't know if that was kind of like a symbol of a little bit of hope again. That.
But I wonder, because was it dark? Was it nightfall when she was leaving, or was it sunrise?
I don't know.
I
I
wonder if that
would
plays into
assume it
symbolism.
might be sunrise
I don't
because all the
think-
torches were being lit. I assume that was at night.
I don't think she looked at her Apple Watch.
Oh, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
Well, if it's made of metal, she wouldn't have had one on.
that's true.
She's not
But
that.
the Lord
that's
Ruler
that's the other thing that kind of going back to the ferochemist and the allomancer. The Lord Ruler wears all sorts of jewelry and metal.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't give a crap. He just
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So 'cause he's got
That's
like
a-
all the rings on his fingers and
And
Can't remember if he
everybody
had, like, bracers
thinks
on his
it's because he's so confident.
Yeah.
And he's immortal, but maybe it's because
he's
he's
got
the
metal
for
stores.
Urukami.
son of a gun.
I don't know.
I don't know. I not knowing what happens past what is it, 37?
37? Yeah.
I'm really liking where you guys are going with this. So when I go through and I read some of these things, I'm not like I don't like come to all these conclusions necessarily that you guys do. I'm just like there for the ride, and I'm like, holy crap, holy crap, whoa!
Ooh.
But like, what
Do you
you
think
guys
he says that out loud when he reads? I bet
you
he
could
does.
ask
bet
my
he
wife,
does.
yeah. But like, what you guys are like bringing as far as like speculation is
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, and
so
I still want to know what happened to the Lord Ruler because when you read the logbook, it's still so different
how did
from
he
the
get from
person that's in the chair.
idealistic hero to
Yeah, so
Right, there's a heck of a backstory there.
because I don't know what the deepness was, but did it break him? And I think you said maybe it possessed him. or
Yeah.
yeah,
something along that
because
line.
the back of the book says he failed.
Yeah,
Right. Well, and jumping back to where we are in the story, she sees him, and so she realizes that this is her chance. She takes the 11th Metal, and she starts seeing things.
Well, this is after the Inquisitors come in, though,
After
right?
so the Inquisitors come back in.
yeah, because they kind of are holding her now, aren't they?
Mhm.
So how quickly they healed or were able to recover from her
Well,
attack?
and she sees one with like
Yeah.
the arrow marks on face
Yeah.
later, and they're just like scars, and she's
Yeah.
like,
What the
"What the
hell?"
heck?"
Right?
So like it's like the mystery of what the Inquisitors are just keeps compounding.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, but the 11th Metal, yeah. So she sees like somebody next to the Lord Ruler. It kind of looks like the guy she saw in the square, but like different. And then she sees somebody next to her.
Yeah.
So we just talked about this where I don't like jump to these like awesome conclusions like you guys do. So if you've got any thoughts, now's the time.
I had one thought, and of course this comes on the heels of reading a different book series, but in this book series that shall remain nameless, there are two characters locked in wand combat, and the prior victims of the one person reappear as ghosts in the real world. Okay, so it's Harry Potter.
I was gonna guess Tom Clancy.
Yeah, it was
but
Tom.
whatever.
Yeah. It was actually Little House on the Prairie. So
yeah?
points to the board for that one.
Nice.
But yeah, like I almost wonder if because she thought one of them kind of looked like Kelsier, did she kind of make a comment that one of them looked familiar? And maybe I imagine that one was Kelsier, but
I don't know.
For some reason, I got like
I can't remember the passage, but I
I've
thought
been
she looked at
drinking
somebody.
this 11.9% beer. So
Who brought that?
who did
Who's sabotaging this show?
Yeah. But I thought she talked about like it was a younger man with like a beard. And
Yeah.
Like I don't remember if he had a bunch of stuff with
But he
him
looked
or,
like carefree or something.
Yeah,
right? Like
something like that.
smiled or
Mhm.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I almost wondered if maybe those were either like that was the past of Lord Ruler, or that was the past of people that he knew and had died, or it was some sort of connection of people to the Lord Ruler.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know who they are.
No.
Me neither. Are you on the last page of your notebook?
Yeah. And I've got chapter 38 and the epilogue to go. So
You're not gonna make it on that.
I know. But so kind of getting back to the chapter here, so the Inquisitors subdue her and they throw her back in the cell that she, some sort of cell that she's in.
They feed her some aluminum.
Yep. And aluminum, I guess, was a metal that we haven't really addressed in the book, but apparently it purges everything else from the system, so it was just gone.
Yeah.
So now she has no allomantic abilities.
It's kind of like a laxative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
An allomantic laxative.
Yeah. Illuminaxative.
Lumalaxative? Is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Now, so this is around the point where we figure out, again, if you haven't already figured this out, Straff is a grade A jackwagon.
Yeah. I forgot we had that little House Adventure interlude in here.
Briefly get that little going back to House Adventure.
Basically, yep, we're leaving.
Straff figures out what's going on with the pits, and he's like,
"Yep,
oh,
we're out of here."
Oh, shit.
And then Elend's like, "No, I'm staying." He's like, "No, you're not." "Yeah, I am." "No, you're not."
And he's like,
"If you stay, then okay. Maybe it's a way to get rid of you."
Right? Like, who would think that way about their kid? They're just like, well, this is my way to kill two birds with one stone.
He did try to have him killed.
True.
He did.
So there was that. We were talking about 593. Okay. We were talking about when she used the metal, the 11th metal. And I just wanted to go back and just like hit that.
That's what she said.
No, that's what he said.
No. She could have said that too.
She could have said it.
So here we go. Vin struggled in frustration as the Inquisitors were like holding onto her, her heart sinking, and then she saw him, another man standing right beside the Lord Ruler. Where had he come from? She hadn't seen him enter. He had a full beard and wore a thick woolen outfit with a fur-lined cloak. Okay, so let's stop for a minute. Because if we remember to the Lord Ruler's logbook, as they were going up, we were getting into like wintry, snowy weather.
Yeah.
Might be something that makes sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't rich clothing, but it was well constructed. He stood quietly, seemingly content. He smiled happily. Vin cocked her head. There was something familiar about the man. His features looked very similar to those of the man who had killed Kelsier. However, this man was older and more alive. She turned to the side. There was another unfamiliar man beside her, a young nobleman. He was a merchant, from the look of his suit, and a very wealthy one at that. What's going on? The 11th metal burned out. Both newcomers vanished like ghosts. So I don't...
That's puzzling.
I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out what exactly this metal is doing.
No, but it was. I mean, maybe it's not the key to killing him, but maybe it's the key to understanding who he is.
Right. I don't know.
Which may be a key then to
but she
overthrowing him.
She seems to think she knows.
Yeah.
At least she did when she went to Kredik Shaw. And as we find out later in chapter 37?
So is adium the paired metal with gold, or is it?
I don't think they ever said that,
because
but
gold
I
seems
think
to
it
function
is.
similarly, except it's more internal, that you see
Right.
yourself
Right.
through different paths.
As you could have been. Yeah.
But then with the adium, you see, or not adium, the 11th metal and gold. Sorry, I screwed that up. But adium's the one where you can see the future.
Right.
Right.
But gold and the 11th metal seem to have some similar properties.
They do. Yes.
Similar but different.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Wow. My elbow looks really red.
Viewers are going to like that.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to get the next 5,000 views.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Anyway, so
Sorry.
Moving on.
I bet you wish you could heal as fast as an Inquisitor.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I don't think it's fair that
honestly,
they
I
get to
think
heal
it's
so
doing
fast.
this.
Right?
They're like a boss in a video game that you just can't kill.
Man,
I hate those guys.
I know. All right, so she gets thrown back in the cell. They force her to swallow the aluminum, and then
she starts thinking about like gold versus the 11th Metal and how they might be related. She's
then,
trying to figure out what's going on.
then
Right?
Sazed gets thrown in there,
Right.
Huh.
and he looks old and shriveled and just really beaten up,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not.
No.
But he is not.
So he like
this is kind of what started me down the path of the whole ferrochemy and allomancy.
Yeah.
And
that was
he was able
great
to
hint.
ingest one of his own metal stores, and
So that was a
pretty
great
awesome.
hint that I completely missed. But if we're gonna, as we did in the beginning, if we're going to use the pro wrestling reference, is it fair to say that he hulked up?
Yeah.
No.
I am a real American.
Just when you think he's down and out, somebody's got him in a sleeper hold.
He pops some vitamins,
Yep.
says his prayers.
Yep. All the little Hulkamaniacs were
Fight for
cheering
the
him on.
rights of every man.
I can't believe we got that on camera. We're going to be able to listen to that forever.
Yep. This is what people love to see. Right? Yeah. I hope.
So
Yeah.
Sazed-
Anyway, so Sazed hulks up.
Yes,
As Chris put it. And it's fair.
it's accurate, right?
But
Well, if you think of the Incredible Hulk, I mean, he just
Like,
kept getting
yeah,
bigger
yeah,
and bigger.
It could be a
and
Bruce.
he took out.
It could be a Bruce Banner into Hulk
But
thing.
then he
but
ripped the bars off, and but he lost it pretty quickly. He wasn't able to have a big store. So.
And that's because I like this part because he kind of smiled and was like, "They took all my jewelry and rings and whatnot, but I took your word and I decided
not
to
the one.
ingest
Yeah.
it."
Not the one I put in my butt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that where he had it?
No, he swallowed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
But
must
he
have been
burned
projecting.
it up. Yeah.
Yes,
So-
you had way too much AD and you knew exactly where it was going to end up.
I saw
Adium,
all
adium.
the different possibilities.
Yeah.
Where can I put this metal?
Two places. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only two possibilities.
There's an entry and an exit. But, okay. Anyway,
I'm not supposed to touch my face, but with everything going on in the world, but I keep
and I have been like the
facepalming.
whole.
But I can put things in my butt.
So then Sazed helps her break out. So we got to rein this back in.
Okay, sorry.
so Sazed helps-
This is your fault.
No,
Your fault.
I'm doing fine.
Yeah, you're doing a great
See,
job.
but
Thanks.
you were fine before. I have not been fine in years.
Well, I just compartmentalize pretty well. So there's parts of me that's not fine.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
I'm doing okay.
All right.
Anyway,
Would you like a hug?
maybe
we'll
off
save
camera.
that for off camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is derailing fast.
I'm gonna
Anyway,
shut up.
Sazed helps him, helps Vin escape.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's getting weak. I thought it was kind of fun to see Vin fight without Allomancy too.
That was
she's
nice,
like
yeah.
flipping around and stabbing
Yeah.
people and taking out guards.
Like
and,
she jumped, and even though she knew she didn't have like elementic power, she's like, okay, I still know like I know how trajectory works. I know how to kill people. So that
And then as she's kind of getting surrounded by the guards, Elend shows up
yeah,
with the captain of the
which
guard.
I didn't expect.
I didn't see that coming, but it was interesting that the guard that she had talked out of, stopping her from entering in the beginning, or in what chapter, whatever that was, earlier.
We kind of
he
kind of
came
missed the
back,
part
and he-
where
With the
he
Lord
came
Rule.
and talked to Dox though.
Oh,
Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because like he came and he's like
Yeah, he basically turned himself in and
he's
said,
like,
"Hey,
if you leave the nobles alone, they're just gonna like hide
yeah,
their keeps.
they're afraid."
You need them for the economy, but I really need to know where Valette is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's basically why he came.
Yeah, and then Dox kind of figured out, he seems like he's a pretty good guy, or he seems like he's
Yeah.
the right guy for
And
this.
he made a lot of sense in his arguments.
Yep.
So
And while we were, while that was going on, Vin was actually up being in. What she was? Well, okay. There was a whole big thing where she was up with the Lord Ruler.
So did that
That's
happen where the Obligators and the Inquisitors had their
Yeah.
little standoff and
yeah,
Yep.
that
forced
kind
her
of
to
a
tell
little
him who her
we're
father
getting
was?
things a little out
Yeah.
of order here. And
It must be the
It
Adium.
must be this 11.9% adium.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that for a minute, because that's a great point, right? Because the Inquisitors haul her up and take her up to this crazy throne room, and
Yep.
the Lord Ruler's there, and he's young again.
He's young again, and he's just like not even really got the time for this. He's like, all right, fine, tell me what you got.
Yeah.
And that's when the Inquisitors are basically like, tell them who your father is.
And this is the reason they've been hunting her since the very beginning.
Well, I thought the other
book.
thing here, we've talked about Reen before, and wondering if he's still alive, but the fact that they basically tortured him.
They found him,
and
tortured
he never
him,
broke.
and he died.
Supposedly.
Well, supposedly he didn't break, that he didn't let them know where Vin was, or really her identity, or how to find her.
Right. No, I would like to say supposedly because I'm not convinced he's dead.
Yeah.
I kind of get that weird feeling
Brian hasn't liked Reen since...
I don't... No, I feel like he's around every corner.
He just seems like a dick.
He's right? He's everywhere.
I don't think the Inquisitors have any reason to lie to Vin about that, though.
I get where you're coming from, but I also wonder if Reen somehow is still playing a bigger part in this. Like if he was turned into an Inquisitor, and so he was...
I mean, yeah, I still like that theory, because you mentioned that last time, and I think that holds some weight. But what if...
Go ahead.
What if Marsh gets converted?
What if he actually became an Inquisitor?
Yeah.
And the body was part of that process?
Boy, that's a good question.
Because the body was mangled, to your point.
Right.
It was unidentifiable.
Maybe it's not a voluntary transition.
It might not be. And that could also explain if they're
it's kind of like the Borg.
I almost wonder if they're like
that can be undone now, apparently.
It can.
Yeah. Now, if they're reanimated, that could also explain why they repair themselves so quickly.
Yeah.
If they don't have any sort of...
Well, I mean, the spikes through the head would supposedly kill a mortal man.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Only do that to dead people.
I thought it was kind of interesting, kind of going back to when she first enters Kredik Shaw and walks up to the room within the room, and the Inquisitor's like, yeah, here we've been seeking you out for years, and you walk right up to us.
Right.
Here you are.
Yeah.
So I think she was a little caught off guard then, too, that they, why are they looking for me? Why am I so important?
They just really want friends.
And then but then it leads up to this thing that, her father had bedded a Ska woman, we think. I mean, I guess we still don't really know much about her mother, because for as powerful as she is and how naturally she takes to things, it seems like her mother must have had something.
But with the rule that they have to, like, kill any woman they bed, we don't really know.
No, we don't know.
So...
But then, he had a moment of weakness, and whoever he sent to kill her didn't do the job, and then once he fesses up to it, then the Inquisitors are on him with their obsidian blades, because they just take him down.
The Lord Ruler's like, okay, fine, you guys can run the ministry now.
All right, fine, kill him.
So, yeah.
Yeah, then kill the girl, but then they still have something that they want to get out of Vin.
Yeah, they do.
So they leave her alive, which is good and convenient for the plot.
It is. It's like super convenient. It's almost like it was planned.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway.
But then we have the whole rescue scene. And
I
loved it when Elend does show up, and she's just like, you came back. You came back. Right. You came back.
Because from the last chapter, or the last two chapters, she's like, everybody leaves. And he was the one person that came back, which is only going to cement... her love for
I like that scene when she's like, you came back, you came back, you came back.
My
he says,
favorite
yes.
part of that.
And you're a Mistborn?
Yes, that was my favorite part, was when she's like, oh, hey, it's my stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, he was like, well, I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all he had was his dueling cane. And it was so pathetic.
Yes.
And then, I think she ends it by saying, but no one's ever come back before.
Yeah.
And then my next note was, do we have to really stop reading here?
The answer is yes.
So I recall getting the text message from Chip being like, what the heck, guys? Why are we stopping?
So, but here's the cool thing. She's like, okay, Saz can get you out. He can keep you safe because you're a noble and they might kill you. But if you're with him, you're going to be good.
Yep.
And then she's like, I'm going to go back upstairs.
I think I know how to do it. I think I know how to do this.
I had such a good time the first time around. I'm going to do it again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, very interesting.
Yeah, so what the hell is going to happen next?
I really don't know if they're even going to resolve all of this.
All right.
Book.
Yeah, there's a lot to resolve in a chapter.
We have a chapter and an epilogue coming at you next week. So, if you like what you've heard and you want to see where this thing goes, or you want to see where we land on with our conclusions, please click the subscribe button.
Or if you want to hear Chris just talk about more pro wrestling references.
Right.
It's an underrepresented portion of our demographics.
It really is.
But that was fun. Let's do it again next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we should.
Let's.
Should we finish this one out next week?
I think we should.
I think so.
I think we need
Yes,
to.
the book will finish next week, and then we will tell you what's on
Where
tap
we head
next.
from here?
Cool.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Alon